And we are live. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you all here. Thank you all for coming over from Multi-Tank Addiction stream and saying hello with that no-ick or no-ish as he, or no-ike as he was typing. But nah, I love it. Thank you all so much for coming over and hanging out with us this morning. Looks like we already are up to 14 people, 9 likes. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Got a lot of really cool, awesome people in the chat here. Let me start up here at the top. We got Texas Fish Room coming in first, Mismatched Socks, Anthony's Fishy Friends, Carrie Habercorn, Peplin Creek, Danikin Aquatics. We've got Weldon Tanks. Good to see you here, Trent. Scott's Aquatics. We got Chris from MTA. We've got Vinosky Tanks. Justin Mosley, Labs Snails, Travis. We've got Abolished Tanks, and we got the Undertaker Callaway. We got lots of awesome people. Todd Payne coming in. Look at that. Look at that. Danikin's asking how I got my stream to start with no commercials. Well, you know, I'm a magic man. No, I didn't set up the ads to pop up right before I start, so you may get one midstream. I don't know. They've changed a lot of the YouTube algorithm stuff that's going on right now, so they're actually doing like let's see, what's the word I'm looking for here. They're automatically going to be putting ads into everybody's videos even if you choose not to have them. So if you guys are seeing ads in a lot of videos, it's probably because either the content creator has chosen to do that to make a little bit of money on their videos, or YouTube's just doing it so that they can make some money on the YouTube videos that aren't chosen to be added. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Oh, let me see. I should hold, you know, I'm a right-handed person. I don't know how many left-handed people are in the stream here. Who drinks their coffee with their opposite hand? I just want to know, because all the labels and stuff for like companies' mugs are always on the opposite side. So you'd have to hold it with the left hand to show off the logo. So like Aquarium Coop, I'd have to drink. See, this is just a green mug. Just green mug. Green mug. All right. Weldon Tanks is saying, be here as long as I can. Have the minions watching things. I appreciate it, Trent. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Select Pet said, well done, Tanks. Multi-Tank Addiction discovered ick in his tank, and he was adding the stream and created the hashtag. Yeah, he found some ick, and that's awful. I absolutely hate ick. It's one of the worst things. Luckily, I've only had one tank with an outbreak. Knock on some wood. So we're just hoping that it doesn't go anywhere else. But yeah, just one tank that I've had in this whole fish room with ick, so we're really happy with that. So IckX does a pretty good job of getting rid of most of that stuff. Abolished Aquatics says, yeah, it's a big overhaul. My other channel is under a month review to get monetized back. Yeah, you know, it's interesting right now, but you know, I get it. There's a lot of money that's coming out of YouTube, and they've got to pay for it somehow. So, and with their, you know, they're making DV changes. They're making a lot of backdoor changes that we're not seeing, and that's expensive. So I can see why they want to start making some more money to pay for that kind of stuff. And if that means us watching another 30 seconds of an ad so that we can get things that we need as either viewers or content creators, I am totally fine with it. I'm sure you guys are all the same as well. Weldon Tank said, don't trust myself with boiling liquid over a precious bodily area, drinking with the wrong hand. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. That's why you need a mug to be double-sided. I agree. Select Pet says, it's YouTube trying to make viewers aggravated by the ads so that the viewers are paid for no ads. That is actually another good point. Yeah, for sure. I actually really love YouTube Premium. I think it's awesome. It saves so much time. It's so much better for a lot of reasons, and it's really not that expensive. So I have had it since they pretty much came out with it. I've had YouTube Premium, and I love it. So yeah. Rico Stan, good to see you. Glad you could make it in here. Said, gotta go get a latte. Ooh, latte sounds good. I'm just drinking some black coffee this morning. No cream even or sugar. I'm just going straight black coffee today. I think I fell asleep at like 2 a.m. last night. Mind was racing, thinking about all the things. Got a lot of things going on. And so I was going through that until 2 a.m. Finally fell asleep listening to an incredible Spotify podcast. If you guys are looking for one, I would recommend Boring Books for Bedtime. I think it's an awesome one. It is free if you have Spotify, so really, really cool. It's just like a bunch of really old books or boring books, and it makes me pass out. So if you guys are looking for something to help you go to sleep, that's a really good option. VB23, good to see you. Seeker, welcome. Lindsay, hello. Justin saying, Guppy Guru, how's the website going? Can't wait to join up with you guys. I appreciate that, Justin. For sure, the website's going awesome. We are actually in the process of looking for a team builder or someone to come in and help us build some extra things onto the website. We wanted to start out kind of bare bones and get it to where we figured out what we needed to do and what we needed to pay for, if that makes sense. We are paying for the site, but we did most of it ourselves. Actually, Ian did almost every single thing on the website. Actually, he did do everything on the website. I'm going to give him all the credit. He did every single thing on that website. He did an incredible job. So what we're doing now is we are going to be hiring a DV team or a coder team to come in and help us add a couple more things onto the site to make it just a little bit easier for everybody. There's some clunky steps in the process, and I will admit that, but we're in the process of starting. My goal is to get that done so that you guys can just really click some buttons and join and have literally your own store where you can add products, change products, do whatever you want on your own, and then we've got your back on everything else. So we really want to make it a super easy process there, but that is going to cost a lot of money. It's about $3,000 to $5,000 to have a DV team come in and do something like that. So not cheap, but I think it is worth it for you guys. And this is what I really want to do for the community is put our money into something that will not only build the community, but really help the community in a lot of ways. So we've got that OFC fund where all the 5% of every single sale goes into a fund, and that's set aside for if someone has something happen and they need some help. So there's a lot of really cool things we've added into this. We'll be adding a donation page hopefully as well, so if people want to donate to that fund, they can. And then we'll also be putting on there hopefully like a tab where you can request to like acknowledge someone, or like let's say you have a friend or something in the fish community that's not a fish tuber, not out there in the public eye, that needs some help. You can put it in there and then we will approve it or whatever with the community. So we're trying a lot of things. We got a list of things we want to get done on there, and it's going to take a little bit of time, but right now we love it. The site's going awesome. Hopefully this next week you will be seeing a ton more fish from Lefty 3213A. He sent in a bunch of betas to be put up on the site, and I just didn't have time on Friday to put them all in. I got really slammed at work, so I was going to do that, and then I just didn't have time. And then yesterday was a whole day more of things, and then I may be able to do it tonight. So just keep your eyes out. That's the cool part about the site too, is that it's all hobbyists, or it's hobby bred fish. So it's, like you may be able to buy like one trio of fish, but then you're buying out someone's whole stock, which is really cool. I absolutely love that, because it's not like, oh, I've got 750 neon tetras that I need to sell. Like that's just not, we don't see that on the site, and that's what I really love about it. There will be some changes coming, hopefully with adding a couple more people, which is really awesome. We're working on a lot of stuff, so hopefully the further on we get with a lot of these projects, I will of course keep filling you guys in, but I am just beyond thrilled with the support and the interaction and everything we've had over at Our Fish Collective, and it means so much. Every day I'm just blown away by the support from this community. So thank you all. So that was a really long answer to that question, but I appreciate it, Justin. And we would love to have you on the OFC team, be a part of the gang. It would be really, really cool. There is a couple steps to start that, but as you know, you've probably already read that, and that's just to make sure that we can make sure that everyone actually has like a really good feedback before they even start selling fish, because there's nothing worse than sending a box somewhere and having a lot of issues. So Seeker, what do you use for red worms and fish? So Calamanus worms are pretty awful, but I have been using Maricin and Paraclens. You can get both from Aquarium Coop. I bought the big jugs of both, so it was like $75 for the little like containers of them. Trying to think if I can see how big the container. It's way on the other side of the fish room. So that's what I've been using. The Maricin is really, really good for that. I have not seen any red worms come out of the imports yet, which is really great. And I have had a couple people let me know that wholesaler or that breeder sometimes does have them, just because all of his fish are raised outside. So that isn't a possibility, but I'm pretty sure with the process I'm doing with QT, water change, siphoning, all of that, those are just going right out, and we're not going to have any issues with those. So really good there. Get you guys kind of filled in on that here in a minute on the import rack. But let me go through and answer a couple more questions. Fire to ashes. My mother got some guppies. She noticed that when a female gives birth, the tank goes up in nitrates. Do they release something that can cause that? Any ideas? They're in a 29 gallon. So yeah, when a fish gives birth, especially a live bearer, it's pretty much just like a human. So you'll see like fluid as well. So there is kind of an amniotic fluid that will come out with the fry. So yes, there is a little bit of would be a spike of something in your tank. But then also you're adding more bodies to a tank. So the minute that you're adding more fish to any tank, you're going to get some kind of nitrate spike or nitrite spike. So definitely just keep an eye on that. If let's say you're having guppies dropping fry a lot, maybe add another 29 gallon if she has the space for it, or add some more plants. That's another really good option there. Maybe try adding one more filter or adding an air stone or something just to keep more air circulation in there and kind of off gas some of that. Maybe put some floaters in there where you can rip them off the top of the tank and throw them away, and then that way you're getting rid of some of those nutrients you don't want in your tank. So there's a lot of really good things you can do there. But yes, every time a guppy gives birth, there will be something that comes with the fry, so it's just going to add something to your tank, and then the fry itself is going to cause some kind of waste in your tank as well. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question. Travis said, coffee creamer or black coffee, favorite flavor? Ooh, okay. So it depends on the day usually. Right now I'm in the mood for black coffee because I only slept like 5 hours. I don't know how I have this much energy, and I feel very awake and ready to go today, which is surprising even myself. Usually, though, I am just a coffee with some of that French vanilla, whatever the coffee mate company thing is. Just a little bit of that, just to give it a little bit of a flavor. But the other day, I went to a Dutch Bros when I was up in Idaho for work, and I rolled through there, and they had a coconut, was it a coconut mocha? And that thing blew my socks off. It was the best coffee I've ever had. With flavor, at least. And that's all I want all the time now. We went to go to Dutch Bros yesterday here in Salt Lake, on our way over to the waterfront to look at some fish. And the line was like wrapped around the building twice. So we bagged that, went over to Beans and Brews, which is a local coffee shop here, and just got a regular coffee, cream and sugar. So it just depends on the day, really. You know, sometimes I want an iced coffee with some vanilla in it. You know, just depends on the day. Mark is asking, what temp are you keeping your guppies at? So the whole guppy garage right here, I've got it set to 78 degrees in here. So right now it's 78 degrees, and usually during the day it kind of peaks up to 82 for the high, but down at nighttime it stays at 78, which is really great. If there's fish that need more temperature, I have my heat gun so I can check temperature, of course. But like over here, we've got some of the German blue rams in this tank. So down in there, up in the front we're sitting at 73, but there is a heater in the back that's got that tank set up to I think 80. But most of the tanks in here are set around that range. So all the tanks behind me, the 75 and then just the German Blue Rams have a heater. Those are the only tanks. The tanks over here also have heaters because they're Cares fish and they need a little bit more care. But other than that, every other tank is just heated off the garage. The import rack, there are a few heaters in there just because the closer racks to the garage door do get a little bit colder, so I wanted to make sure that those didn't have a huge fluctuation in there. But most of those I keep at 75 as well, so right around in that 73 to 78 range is where I keep most of my guppies. Some of them I've tested down into 68 degrees. One tank I tested down into 73 or 63, and they did great. So I'm trying to make some really hardy fish. I don't want to, speed breed anything and make it go crazy. So, I'm missing a lot of chat here. I am sorry, people. I'm trying to answer everything here today. It's one of those days. It's an answer every question day. Let's see. VB23 says just put on ad block and no more ads. There you go. Select Pet said, is the mug logo placement so you show others the logo, or for the company to keep putting their logo in your face so it's burned in your mind? That's a good point, because I am looking at it, but on camera. See, you're the smart one here, Select Pet. You're the smart one. The Undertaker Callaway says, puffers move to old betta tank. They love it. I love little pea puffers. So I had 4 of them. I'm down to, from what I can tell, I'm only down to 1. Unless there's 3 that just keep hiding from me every time I look in the 75. But the one I do have is massive. He's getting huge. Having a blast in the 75. Also, as you can see, there is this new kind of like little breeding cone thing here. So that is a water, what do they call that? Terracotta watering spike. You put a bottle upside down in a planter, and then the water seeps through and then waters your plant over days or time or whatever. And then a little like flower pot plant tray at the bottom to stop the eggs from falling to the gravel. So that's going to be hopefully my angelfish breeding cone. We'll see. We will see. Abolished Aquatics says, Manscaped ads are getting out of hand. I'm feeling self-conscious. Am I too hairy, YouTube? Oh, that's awful. It must be based on your searching. They've got you. They data mined you. Texas Fish Room says, NOS energy drink is my choice this morning. I can't do energy drinks because I have a heart condition. So coffee is pretty much the only caffeine I can do, even though I'm not really supposed to do coffee. But the energy, or the sugar and all that stuff that's in the big box energy drinks, I can't do. Fire to Ashes says, Mark, think the temperature is within their temp range. Forgot specifically what it is. Hopefully I answered that. Weldon Tanks, Texas Fish Room, great throwback energy drink. Weldon, so when I helped him make his little member emojis, if you look at Texas Fish Room or Lindsay or Rico Stan or any of those people, they've got those, or Misfits Reptiles and Aquatics. They've got their little icons next to their name. I helped Trent build his, and let me actually, boom. When I helped him build his, one of his is a energy drink. So he loves energy drinks. Those are his favorite for sure. VB23 says, I don't drink energy or coffee drinks. Ooh. I mean, I get it. You don't need it. Texas Fish Room says, they used to sponsor me when I was still in the custom truck world. Ah, there you go. BB23 is asking anyone if they keep white worms. I did at one point keep them. Then I accidentally closed the little hole on the top of the container, and I suffocated all of them. So it crashed. So I don't have any right now, but that's a hope, is to add more live foods into the fish room. Right now we're just pretty much doing BBS, which I love, baby brine shrimp. Travis, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Select Pet, thank you for dropping the link to our fish collective. Go there, buy whoever's fish. I love it. There's so many great options on there. There's even more coming, so just keep your ears open. Add yourself to the email list if you'd like as well, and then that way we're going to start trying to do that more often for you guys too, so that way you can get some updates on when we add some new stuff. Seeker's asking, how is the imported red Dumbo mosaics doing? Honestly, not good. So the 24 karat gold and the red mosaic tanks both just tanked. They are not doing good. The golds luckily have dropped a bunch of fry, which is awesome. But they're just not making it through treatment very well. So I've done 2 rounds of medication through both of those tanks, and I just am not having good success with those 2. I think the red mosaics, I'm down to, I want to say 2 trios, maybe 3 trios. So that's not very good, in my opinion. But the ones that I do have are extremely healthy. So I'm kind of just going to keep growing them, keep them doing well. There's a couple tanks that I'm going to hold a lot longer to make sure that everything's good before they go up on the site. But there's not a whole lot of those left, unfortunately. So yeah, there's a couple of those strains. The Santa Claus Dumbos were one of the first ones I got in the first box. They dropped a ton of fry though, and those fry are doing awesome. And now that tank's doing really, really good. So I'm hoping that that's what's going to happen with the red mosaics and the 24 karat gold Dumbos. So we will see. We will see. The 24Ks dropped a ton of fry in the last couple of days, but I've been losing like 3 to 4 a day, and it's been really sad. I hate it. But other than that, every other fish is doing so good. I'm really, really happy with all the other ones. But, you know, it sucks. I hate losing anything. But I'm doing the best I possibly can to make sure that every fish that does survive is going to be the best possible fish. But like the Silverado Reds, the Mini Tigers, they're all doing incredible. The purples, so good. So good. Justin saying, Guppy Guru, what would be the best way to reach out to you about some questions and stuff? You can reach out to me via Instagram, or you can email me at theguppyguru@gmail.com, or you can just message us through the site too. There is a message tab there. So there's a couple different options for you. Danikins saying, I will be lurking, starting the daily water change craft room today. Home of the 240. I almost said it the other way. Dyslexia coming in hot. So I will be a while today. Well, you know, water changes are important. Thank you for still lurking. I appreciate that, Danny. Danny Can. I meant Kenny, not Danny. Kenny. Courtney's in the house. Good morning, baby. Red-eared Slider says, Guppy Guru, unfortunately, my turtle ripped up my Amazon sword and half of my crypt when Deadeye last night. Luckily, I was able to save the crypt when Deadeye and put it into my 10-gallon tank. Well, you know, turtles will do that. It's unfortunate, but I'm glad you have those planters from the co-op, because the roots are still good. So that's the important part. That is the important part. Fire to Ashes says, there's not very many in the tank, 3 females, and only have 4 or 5 fries. You can figure out why this spikes. That's kind of, that's not a whole lot to create a large spike. So I am interested in that. So that would be something to look at for sure. Maybe up your filtration. Let us know in the chat what your filtration is, and maybe we can figure it out more. Mark Noble, good to see you. Global Cuber, good morning. Courtney's answering some questions. I love it. Chris from Multi-Tank Addiction says, my mug has a logo on both sides for those ambidextrous people, I guess. Yep. Peplin Creek, Trevor, Chevy Fish coming in. Good to see ya. Mishmash Sock says, love the hot bean broth. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. That is pretty much what it is. Well Done Tank says, I know a guy that has over 300 multicolor Victoria growing out, just saying. Yeah, Trent's got a lot of those. He is also a seller on OFC, so if you guys want to go over and check out his little store, not little store, his store within the store, you'll be able to see all of his stuff. So he's got some really awesome mouth brooding cichlids that he's growing up. So Travis says, I have a female guppy with a bent spine. Am I a bad fish keeper to keep her? If she breeds, will that trait pass to her fry? So you're not a bad fish keeper to keep her. That's just, it is your fish. It will pass the trait on, though, and it'll get worse as time goes on. So the best bet for that would be to separate her into another tank if you have one, by herself. No more guppies in there. And then if it gets really bad, usually with bent spines, the older they get, the worse they get. And then they'll start to like stop swimming, and it just doesn't, they're just not living a good life anymore. And that's when clove oil will come in handy, because it's a humane way to put down a fish. So Slug Pet saying, Skiffy, doing okay? They're doing great. I think I got 6. I'm down to 3. So I lost a few just in the process of transfer, of course. It does happen. But the 3 are doing really, really good. I'm hoping the big female right now is going to pop soon, and we will get some more of them. So yeah, I'm just kind of waiting on them, but they're doing really good. They love their tank. I've got those Cory cats in there too, and they're doing really good. So I'm hoping that more come up soon. 41 watching and 28 likes. Get those numbers up, please, people. I appreciate that, Krish. Gina French is in the house. Good to see you, Gina. It's been a while since I've seen your name in the chat. All right, let's see. Rico Stan says, I have a tank filled with Guppy Guru's guppies and another tank with Well Done's guppies. Both are doing awesome and breeding like crazy. Yeah, I love that. That's my favorite. I love seeing that kind of stuff. It's so fun to know like that my fish and everybody else's fish just get to other people's houses and just do well. Love it. Weldon Tanks and Travis, no, that does not make you a bad fish keeper. Nothing wrong with keeping any fish that you choose to. Don't let someone tell you that makes you a bad fish keeper. Exactly. I've kept, when I bred my bettas, I had deformed Danny. Deformed Danny was a bettas whose mouth was sideways. So instead of a mouth opening like this, his mouth opened like this. And he lived for a really long time. I want to say 6 months. And I fed him, BBS and all sorts of stuff, and he did great. And I kept him. He wasn't the biggest fish in the world, and he had his own little tub to himself, and he was doing great. So yeah, I mean, just it's your fish. Give it the best life possible. Fish Tank Barn in the house. Good to see you, Mike. Thanks for showing up. The Undertaker Callaway says, doing great. New goldfish too. Yeah, you've got those 2 new goldfish, which is really cool. I love me some goldies. I've got those 110-gallon stock tubs out in the back with some gold fishes in them. Red-eared Slider saying, Courtney, if you guys want a turtle, get a stink pot or musk. Red-eared sliders grow extra large and very destructive. Also, stink pots and musks can be kept with all types of fish because they can't catch them. Exactly. Big Tank Hank's in the house. Good to see ya. Glad you could make it in here, bud. Awesome channel over there too if you guys want to go check him out. He's got some really beautiful guppies into his house as well. He's got a really cool little fish room, and I think it's in a closet. And he does a lot out of there. So really great person too if you guys want to go check out some more channels. This chat's full of great channels. I try to watch as many of them as I possibly can. I wish I had 100 hours in a day, but I don't, so it would be nice if I did. Guppy Guru is 8 small feeder goldfish in a 55-gallon, too small. Probably, because if they're just the feeders, they're going to get to be the big goldfish. I'm eventually going to upgrade them into a large 3,000 gallon pond. No, as long as you have another place to put fish that you know will get larger, then that shouldn't be a problem. The problem is when you get like an arowana and you throw it in like a 10-gallon tank because it's small, and you don't have another tank to grow it up into. That's kind of where the hobby has some issues, is that people get fish, when they're babies, and they think that that's full size, not knowing that a fish can grow, 3 feet sometimes. So that's like a common pleco. Common plecos are a really good example of a lot of the big box stores not being transparent, and that's kind of a bummer. Common plecos can get up to 24 inches. They can be really, really big fish, and we just don't take great care of them. And it's really sad because they are a beautiful fish. They're also very invasive. And because they're invasive, the reason they're invasive is because people get them for a 10-gallon fish tank thinking it'll clean their glass, keep their fish tank clean without having to do any maintenance. And then the fish grows to be 24 inches and they can't keep it, and they throw it out in a stream or something, and then you have an invasive species. So don't do that. Don't throw fish into local waterways. It's not good. Not good. Fire to Ashes says 30-gallon, hang on the back filter, not a lot of plants, but has a couple. She says it's always fine until they start birthing. Then it goes up, adds beneficial bacteria and new babies to counter added bio. Sounds like she's got a system down really good. And if I remember right, you said it was a 29-gallon. So you're sitting right at the kind of the number there for filtration. It might be good to do like an air stone or something in there just to get some more water agitation and some more off-gassing. Or just add some more plants. I love plants. Plants are easy. Depending on what the setup looks like. You can always add, some jungle vals or some guppy grass or something. Some dwarf sage is a really cool plant. Rotala grows really quickly. It's easy. Not a whole lot of care there. And that'll take a lot of those nitrates and nitrites out. So yeah, just if you can add a couple more plants, definitely do that. Or add something else just to help with the filtration. But it sounds like you've got a really good understanding of the fish. I mean, apparently, because she notices spikes, which is awesome. But I always just try to add a little bit more than is needed into all my tanks. So Select Pet says, check with your local fish store and your local fish club. Many of them will take an unwanted fish or know a local fish rescue. Exactly. Yeah, it's not worth throwing a fish into a local waterway and ruining an ecosystem, because there are other ways. Definitely other ways. Undertaker Calloway says, my koi is a monster. He's getting huge. Yeah, I've got a koi out in my pond, and it's winter time now, so he's settling down. He's at the bottom, but he's a good, I don't know what that is, 12 inches? Good 12 inches. Justin saying, Guppy Guru, what's your favorite type of shrimp? I really love Neo shrimp. I also like a mono shrimp. I think they're really cool. But as far as color goes, I'm into orange. I love me some orange shrimp. I think they're gorgeous. They fit into a lot of things. But then reds are great. I really like really shrimp as well. I think they're really cool. I got some snowball neocardinas, and those are really cool on a black substrate. So it just kind of depends on what color you want, but I'm a neocardinia fan. Cardinia shrimp tend to just be a little bit harder to keep. They're not per se a harder species, but they are a little bit harder to keep. So it's just, neos are easy. They clean up. They get rid of the waste that your fish don't eat, extra food, that kind of stuff. So there's always good things to do with shrimp. So yeah, neos are my favorite shrimp. You can hear the cat going in and out of the garage here. Raider Cider says, that is why I hate big box stores. I recently had a friend whose parents impulsively bought a painted turtle, kept it in a bucket with no basking bulb or space to dry itself. Turtle died. Ooh, 3 months later. Oh, that sounds awful. That is extremely sad. But that's also lack of research, unfortunately. we go into pet stores, we go into something, and we look at something and we go, oh my God, that's gorgeous, I want that so bad. And we don't research that process beforehand. And it's really unfortunate. And it's something that we should really start doing more of. But I feel like this community and the hobby is definitely getting better for that. I feel like a lot of people are doing a lot more research, learning a lot more. And I think YouTube has a big part of that, where, videos, care guides, that kind of stuff. If you're looking for a fish research of any kind, you can type that into YouTube and pop it up. And it's the coolest thing ever, because you'll get a great video from like Mike or in Tanks or myself from Guppies or anybody really. And there's some awesome, cool stuff out there that you can get some really great firsthand experience from. Gina French is saying, so how you doing, Guppy Guru? I'm doing really good. Yeah, it's been a rough year. As most of you guys know, my grandma passed away a couple of weeks back, and then Courtney's grandpa hasn't been doing so great with his health, so we've been traveling around to see them. We went down to California. Was it last week? I think it was last week. To spend some time with them, just in case anything happens, just to make sure that, family's family. And now I have no grandparents left, so Courtney's grandparents are my grandparents, and I love that. They're the sweetest people in the world. My grandma passed away, and so we wanted to go out and see hers, just to spend more time with them, because they do live in California, we live in Utah, and that's a trek. So especially right now, it's really hard to travel. We want to make sure we're safe. We didn't want to go out there and cause something. So we definitely were very cautious, to say the least. Fired Ashes says, Guppy Guru, thank you. We will see if she will add more plants. She gets frustrated having to keep battling the spikes. Yeah, plants will definitely help with that for sure. Like if you look behind me, there's some really cool Rotala right here. Pogostemma stellatus octopus is another really good, quick-growing plant that makes some really good cover for some fish. You can even put like I've got, wrong way. I've got like pothos up here. Pothos is a really, really cool plant just to help with some removal of nitrates or nitrites. So there's a lot of really good things you can do, but plants are definitely the way to go. If you can add plants, it looks good, and there's nothing wrong with it. So if she has that, she can do that, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Slugpit said, a while back, 2 local lakes were devastated to the point of 0 fish population due to only 2 African claw frogs being released into one of the lakes. Then removing to the second after destroying the first. Dang. Yeah, that's awful. It's really sad that we can have that big of an impact just with such a small thing. Like, you wouldn't think like, oh yeah, throwing my dwarf African claw frog in a lake would do that, and it just destroys an ecosystem that's been around for millions of years. It's really, really sad. Gina's saying, research. Yes, do that research. Raider Slider says, yeah, and the bad thing is that the big box stores never ask for a pic or video of your tank. When you purchase aquatic animals, people just tell them they have a 125 gallon for their koi and they have a 10 gallon ohm. Yeah, it's really not. Usually the big box stores, unfortunately, the training there isn't as great for the aquatic section. Some of them are awesome. I will say that. Some of them are really, really good. Sometimes you'll get a good one where someone really cares about the aquatic section, and you'll get people who are, go into a big box store. We're not going to say any names. And they go up to the aquatic section and say, hey, I want 4 koi. And they're like, well, what are you going to put them in? And they say a 10 gallon. And then the person just says, no, you can't do that. And I've seen that. I've heard it. And that's, it just depends on the store, really. And just the research that those people are doing as well. And sometimes they just have to meet numbers, and it's an unfortunate part of some of those bigger stores. But some stores are really good. I have a really good PetSmart where the aquatic section is actually very good. The people there really do care, and I've heard them say multiple times, like, "Oh, you can't keep that in that size tank." So it's something just to every store's different. Even your local fish stores, some of them are really good, some of them are really bad, and that's just part of business and everything. I mean, there's people aren't just going to do the right thing every time, and it's unfortunate. Gina, thank you very much. Yeah, it's hard to lose family for sure. Definitely hard to lose family. My grandma was an incredible person. She was a teacher for years and years and years, English teacher. She taught special ed. She was probably one of the smartest people I've ever known in my life. And so she got dementia, or she has had dementia, and it took her down in 5 years. So we moved her down here to Utah so we could be closer to her, and we had her just down the street from us. But with COVID, we haven't been able to see her. We didn't see her for 6 months because they wouldn't let us into the facility she lived in. She's in a full-time memory care facility, and so we couldn't see her for 6 months. It was awful. But luckily they let us in there to see her the last couple of days, which was great. So we got to see her and hug her and kiss her, and so we were there for her, which was great. So she got to pass with us being there, which is more than I can ask. So thank you everyone for the kind words. I appreciate it. Let's see. Chevy Fish throwing the link out for our fish collective. Much appreciated, people. Slick Pet says the lakes have been restocked and rebounding now. Clawed frogs are now illegal here. No one in the pet stores tells you the cute little clawed frogs get dinner plate size. Yeah, they don't. They don't. It's really unfortunate. I feel like a lot of stores, like the bigger box stores, should put like size guidelines. They have the money to do that kind of stuff, so why not put like grow to 20 inches, grows to blah blah blah, max tank size this. They're going to make more money off of the people if they do that, because people are going to come in and say, hey, look, I've got a 10-gallon tank at home, and I want this arowana or whatever, and then they'll be like, oh, sorry, well, you read the little tag, you have to buy 125 gallon or 255 gallon or whatever, and then they have to buy a bigger tank and they make more money. So it's weird that they don't do that at the big box stores. It really is. It really is. Muppet 929, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Got lots of really great people in here. Mismatched Socks says, our Petco seems pretty good. Was in there once getting a tank and a plant and another tank. Lady recommended I wait to get the plant. Very impressed. That is really good. That is really good. Our Petco does put fish size on the bigger fish, but I don't think they sell anything larger than goldfish. Yeah, I mean, some don't. And that's good too for them. They just don't want to ship that stuff around. And they also don't want it to come back into their store. Because they don't have the room for a 24-inch, arowana. That's just not going to happen. Slick Pit says, I've seen some big box stores with the adult sizes on the fish labels. They said red tail sharks get 12 inches and iridescent sharks gets 12 inches. I agree. They get at least that size. Yeah. I can see that for sure. JT says, hey, what's your rarest strain of guppy? Oh, my rarest strain. Rare is a hard term. It's a really hard term because in other countries, like Dumbo ear guppies are a dime a dozen, but here they're harder to find. And then there's like the IFGA show lines, that are years and years in the making, and those are rare because you can't find good quality ones like that very often. So it's hard to say the rarest. It really is. The most expensive guppies I've bought were, I think, $85 for a trio. The ones that I don't see as often would probably be my Czech guppies or my Vienna guppies. Those are round tail guppy, more wild type. Those are harder to find, so maybe those are my rarest. But then, like right over here, I've got the IFGA full albino reds from a local guppy club member. Bryce gave me those, which is really awesome. Those are beautiful fish and very hard to find a really, really good line like that. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking at. So rare is kind of a hard term to put into practice, if that makes sense. Peplin Creek Aquatics says, when I go to Petco, I sometimes talk to the customers about how to care for fish. Some of the employees there are clueless. Not all, but some. Oh, okay, I just didn't read that right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've got a great one at mine. I've actually got a couple of the Petco employees that are part of our local guppy club. So there are some really good people out there who really do care. It just depends on the store. Redhead Slider says, my local pet store sold me 10 feeder goldfish for a 10-gallon starter kit when I was 7. Now looking back, I feel so stupid. You know, if you didn't know and they didn't help, it's not your fault. That's something that just does happen. So, yeah. Like Well Done Tank says, we all start somewhere in the hobby, live and learn. Exactly. If we don't make a mistake, we're not going to learn from the mistake. If we don't tell you about our mistakes, you guys aren't going to know that we made a mistake. We're not all perfect. I lose fish a lot. It's just part of it. And sometimes I make dumb mistakes, and I try to tell you guys when I do those. I don't make them often, which is good. But when I do, I try my best to keep you guys in the loop. So, Peplin Creek says, sorry, Peter, my words aren't the best. No, I'm not very good at reading right now. So I've got 2 very bright lights shining in my face, and I woke up like an hour ago. So yeah, and I've got like 5 hours of sleep, so it's on me, not you. Yeah. Gina French says, everyone's opinion concerning water conditioner and water changes, treat the whole tank or just the amount you took out. So Gina, I always just treat the whole tank. It's not going to really hurt anything, especially if you're using like let me see if I got it. I don't know where my Fritz Complete went. If you got like Fritz Complete or something like that, or like Safe or something, I just treat the whole tank. It's easier to do one pump or in a 10 than try to measure it out milliliter wise and stuff. So I just treat the whole tank. I've never had a problem. Or sometimes I don't treat the tank and I just put the water in and see, you know, like if it's a small like top off or something. Like some of these tanks I did water changes this week, but the evaporation happens by Sunday. So I've got to come in and just top off, you know, maybe gallon here, gallon there. And I sometimes don't treat that because it really doesn't need to. So sometimes it just depends. But usually if I'm, you know, doing a water change, I will just treat for the whole quality of or quantity of the tank. Lav Snail Sales, good to see you. Definitely learn from mistakes. Yeah, we all do. I know that we've all done it. We have all done it. Select Pet says, I make dumb mistakes daily. Me too. Me too. Big City Bettas, good to see you. Glad you could make it in. Awesome channel right there. If you guys haven't gone over and checked her channel out, great stuff. Her and Joseph are doing some really cool things. I'm really excited for them together too. That's a really good match. Great team right there. So if you guys haven't gone and checked out Big City Bettas or JH Aquatics, definitely go do so. Great people. Really enjoy, you know, talking to them when I see them and stuff too. So I'm kind of bummed. So I was gonna go down to Aquashella and do all that over Halloween, and I was so excited, and then they canceled it. So I'm hopefully going to be going to one of the next ones here, but it just depends on everything else in the world. So we're all keeping our fingers crossed. The entire world is. Everybody stay safe. Put your masks on. It's not that hard. I've got cool masks too, so I like wearing them. Oh, Trevor's got a question for you, Lav. He says, "Hey, Lav's snail question for you. Have you had mystery snails give you batches of smaller black or colored snails?" There you go, Lav. She's got a lot of snails. I would say she's got close to 1,000 of them. All sorts of different colors. So if you guys are looking for some really awesome snails, mystery snails, definitely go check her out. Fishmon 64. The important thing is to learn from your mistakes. Yes, 100%. If we don't learn from our mistakes, then there's no reason to make them or even try. So, Gokul, please tell me how to find the gender of a guppy. Let me actually, I am going to pull up the video for that for you, because that is hard to kind of describe over chat, but I do have a really good, I think it's a really good video on like sexing guppies and that kind of stuff. So let me see here if I can find that video for you. I can. Look at that. And someone may have beat me to it already. Nope. Okay. So this video right there is how to tell if your guppy is male or female. There's a couple really good tips that I give in there for you. It's hard to say over, chat, but because if I'm not showing pictures and stuff, but there's some really good imagery there for you too. Hopefully that video helps you out. It's up to like 8,500 views, which is awesome. So I think I did something right with that one. So I may be making another one of those just to kind of update it with some new footage, I guess. We'll do that. Big City Bass says, thank you. We both need to start uploading more for sure. Definitely come to the upcoming Aquashella. Always a great time. I would love to. I'm really looking forward to meeting all of you guys in person. It's so great to like talk over this virtually, but it's just so much better to see someone in person and really you really get to know them and meet them and kind of figure out who they are via face-to-face. It's just way different. Lav Snail Sales says the genetics pertaining to mystery snails can be tricky and give you weird colors sometimes. The clutch can be fertilized by multiple males, so you can get different colors that way. Or the mother snail could have had parents with genetic code for that color, and it skipped the mother and came out in her babies. There you go. There's your answer. There is your answer. Big City Betta says, holy cow, so many friends in chat. Hello, everyone. I hope you are all having a wonderful weekend. Yeah, it's a Sunday. It's a beautiful Sunday. Hopefully no one else is getting blasted by snow or anything. It's beautiful here. I'm very excited. Of course, Gokul. Glad to help. Hopefully that video does help you out. And if you got any questions, just throw them up in the chat or down in the comment section of that video, and I try to check my comments and answer as many as I can. So if you have a question, put it up in there, and I will hopefully get to it soon. Raider Slider says, Guppy Guru, I know this sounds pathetic, but I am, or my mom, technically allowed to become a breeder on OFC. I have some really cool guppies I would like to sell and earn some money to support you and the community. Go for it, bud. Yeah, have your mom sign up and have it go under her name. As long we just have to have someone who's 18 for legal purposes. But yeah, go for it. Do what you want to do. We can definitely work with her to get you taken care of. Gina French says, unfortunately, too many stupid people up in my area think they are too self-righteous or something and don't wear masks. Now they're wondering why we have such a huge spike again. Yeah, it's, it's not, it's hard to say that, but it is kind of the case. Utah for sure is having some issues with that as well. We had down in it's called Utah County here, like Provo is the town, and we had some people do a rave down there, no masks, like 2,000, 3,000 people in a building, and they had like one of the largest spikes in Utah right after that. It's not good. Just wear a mask. We can all go see our families. This Thanksgiving is going to be very difficult. No one can really see anybody, so it's just easier just to be courteous people for the meantime. Vaccines hopefully coming out soon, and we can get through this together. So I wear my mask for you. You wear your mask for me, and we're all happy. Is that the new slogan for the COVID? I wear my mask for you. You wear your mask for me. We're all happy. Yeah. Right. Gokul says, tell me your favorite aquarium fish. Ooh, my favorite aquarium fish would be guppies. That's a very easy one. Very, very easy. Guppies are my favorite. There's a huge variety. They're small, they're cute, they're easy. So yeah, I mean, that's my favorite for sure, 100%. Trevor says, that does, thank you. I have 2 tanks that seem to give too much darker and smaller snails. Others give me larger, more colorful snails. Well, there you go, bud. Yeah, Lav's got some great information on snails. If you guys want to, she has a great channel too. She's been putting out some awesome videos. Definitely go check it out because they're really great. Maria, you're here. Good to see you. I'm sure all the monkeys are listening too. Hey, monkeys. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. Weldon Tanks is asking Trevor if his yellow zebra plecos are still doing good. I really want to get into plecos. I'm overextended. We'll say that. I'm overextended. Big City Betas. Expos are a great way to get to know channels and who they actually are. Plus, the community is amazing. It's how I met some of my best friends, actually Joseph, and I met at Aquatic Experience. Yeah, that's just so cool. It's something I really like to do is meet people in person. I'm a hugger. I hug people that I know. It's just the way I am. So, yeah, I like seeing people in person. It's my favorite. But I'm also introverted, so it's difficult for me. But yeah. Well, Tank says, I am planning on shipping your fish out after Thanksgiving, even if I need to ship them overnight. Yeah, after Thanksgiving for sure, because Black Friday is going to be nuts. It's going to be really hard to ship fish for a little while, so we may have to let all the sellers know. It may be some time. We're going to hopefully do like a gift card thing for OFC, so if you guys want to, you can buy some gift cards and get your loved ones some fish. Justin saying, have you tried the Ceche Shark internal canister filter yet? I have not. I kind of want to, but I just haven't yet. So it's something I want to do. There's a lot of things I want to do and try, but I have a lot of other things that I'm doing and trying. So it's something I do want to try out at some point, and I will hopefully do that and make a video on it for you. Gokul says, how to improve guppy fish color, bro. There is an incredible book. I don't have it in here right now because I read it all the time. By Brian Chen. He is a really awesome breeder. Incredible books. He gives you all the information on that, how to breed in lines and add dorsal size and tail color and dorsal color and body color. It's just a really great book. It's called How to Breed Show Guppies, I believe. Brian Chen. You can find it on Amazon. Incredible person. He also has his own channel too. I think it's called The Guppy Channel on YouTube, and you can go watch there. He's got a couple really great videos on that too. Lav Snail says, Peter, do you have any more of the purple Dumbo guppies? And thank you for the shout out. Always appreciated. So I have the the imports of the purple Dumbos, they're doing great. Hopefully going to list them this next week. So I will let everyone know on that. But really, really awesome fish. I love that one. Maria says, hi, Peter. All the monkeys at the same time. Hey, monkeys. Good to see you. Well, good to see you in the chat. I miss you guys. It's been a long time since we've talked. Guppy Boy says, has anyone heard or seen of albino red lace? I know Doug has some. I've seen them. I don't know who's got them, though. That's a hard one. Yeah, she's saying she's shipping this week, Lab is. Let's see here. Whoa! Super chats. We got a super chat. We got a coffee super chat. Collins Critter Cave. I appreciate it, man. Let me turn on a light here for you. So I usually do those for members, but because that's a $4 super chat, which I appreciate, that just paid for a great cup of coffee this morning. So thank you so much. We are going to turn on, turn on the lights for you. You've earned it. Let me see if I can get them brighter. There we go. Yeah. Whoop, whoop. Thank you, Collins Critter Cave. I appreciate it. Really, really awesome of you to do that right here at the end of the live stream. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming in and hanging out with us. Hopefully I got to as many questions as I could. Trevor says, Trent gives me more time to get the ghost wood to sink. Great. Maria, are those lights the Guppy Guru colors? They are. They are the Guppy Guru colors. This really cool lighting system I've got, it's called the LifeX. You can go through, let me see if I can get it to work here. You can go through and pick what colors you want. So I was able to do some of the colors from the garage here. So if you've been watching a lot of the videos lately, I've had that on usually. So really cool. But thank you, Collins Critter Cave. Thank you, every single person, for coming in and hanging out, smashing that like button. We've got 47 likes, 42 people still watching at 10:03 a.m. I don't know, is Down the Wormhole streaming? Let me check and see, because if she is, Dia's awesome, and we can go over and blow her channel up. Let's see. I don't know if she is. Hopefully she is. Let me see. No, she's not doing a stream, at least that I can see this morning. So looks like you guys are just stuck with no stream till the person after Dia, which I'm not really sure who that is. So thank you all so much for coming and hanging out for the whole hour. I appreciate every single one of you again. It means so much that you guys are willing to come and listen to me ramble on for a whole hour when I'm half asleep. I love you all. And as always, be sure to spread that guppy love. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you in the next one.